Hello, my name is R.Suoheimo. I'm a digital systems and design student here at Aalto University. I've been studying in Finland since like 2021, I think, late 2021. I was born in Finland and I grew up in Peru. And all throughout my life, I've been doing graphic design in one way or the other, ever since I was like 14 years old. I have a lot of experience in freelancing, everything from like UA, UX to completely doing websites and brand identities like logos, video editing, basically everything, a little bit of everything. And even though I do not have the long-term formal experience that Veikkaus might be seeking, I still think I'm a great fit for the position. And I hope to prove it with this video, in which I'll be showcasing not only my abilities, or well, a little glimpse of it, but also my way of thinking, my way of processing stuff and thinking about graphic design, which I think is key for any graphic design position. Right, so how will I do this? I'll be redesigning the front page of Veikkaus's website. And why the front page specifically? Well, I think first impressions matter the most. And it's in this front page where new possible clients will first meet Veikkaus. So let's get started. I brought the design into Photoshop, which is one of the many tools that I use. And in here, now we get to see what basically piques my interest. One of the first things that I notice is there's a lot of login related panels, a lot of panels related to my information and about stuff that is related to the user once they're logged in. And not only are these panels scattered all over the website, but since most of them are only accessible after you create an account or after you log in, they're not really relevant to new users. Now, I know it's important to get users to log in into the website to create an account, especially because they need it to play. But there's this concept about where do you put the login, and more specifically, when in the whole process of using the website. And I'll try to source it somewhere, but usually for betting websites, it's better to have it as late as possible because users don't want to register if they don't know if they're going to like the product or not. Otherwise, they're going to end up registering for 10 different websites that they don't even know if they're going to stick with. Now, secondly, I see there's a slight hierarchy problem, right? The thing that we actually care about, like we as a new user, is to get to playing, and that only takes about 10% of the whole screen. Yes, the top menu also has everything that is related to that, but the top menu are only words. They don't carry enough power to get me to play those games. The top menu shouldn't be used as the tool to attract new players into those menus, but rather a quick and easy access to those. So I think we should give more focus to the actual games, so people can really easily access those actual games. So lastly, the events, and I think this is such an important part to focus on, because it's these events that differentiate Veikkaus from the rest of the competition. It's these events that users should actually want to be a part of. And how do we get users to want to participate in these events? Well, there's many ways, but the way that I like to do it is to put a timer on the events. Because this signalizes to the user that, well, things are happening, things are moving, whether you are a part of it or not. And this gives the user a sort of fear of missing out. This also helps the website to feel more active, more dynamic. Right now, these images don't create a sense of opportunity. They don't create a sense of urgency. They don't create any sense that, hey, I should actually take advantage of this Christmas bonus that I'm getting. So I think we can do a little bit of things to fix it. Not just a timer, but we'll see. And lastly, and this is more opinionated, the color palette. I don't think that this color palette really works, as I don't think they communicate the energy that they should be communicating to new users. I don't think these colors really entice the user to participate in the games, to gamble a little, to play a little. So I think we can do a little bit better. And I think some other pages in the Veikkaus's website knows this, which is why in some of these websites we get different colors, different vibes, different energies. But I think the main page should also have this sort of feeling. Get started with the redesign. I don't know if I'm going to make a point in the middle or just straight at the end of the process, but let's see. So see you there. Right, so I think this is the goodest place is I need to stop and think about some of the changes I've made. The first thing you'll notice is the color scheme. I've completely changed it and I've gone for this goldish orange and this royal purple in combination with, black. It's not really black, it's a really dark gray. So the reason why I went with royal purple is that it's a color usually associated with royalty and luxury. I mean, it's right there on the name, while still evoking a feeling of calmness and trust. with the added benefit of standing out in a sea of blues and greens constantly used by other similar websites, like these ones. And orange, on the other hand, is a warmer color that generates excitement which should match the energy level of the user. The idea is to get a premium yet exciting feeling to the website. And I think this combination of colors achieves this really well. Then I got rid of a bunch of panels. You'll notice that all of the login panels are completely gone. I just simply left the login and sign up button right on top right. And once the user logins, they'll see all of their settings in their own user menu. That way a new user doesn't have to deal with a lot of useless stuff that doesn't really apply to them. And it's only once they've created an account and only once they've logged in that they can access all of the information that is actually now relevant to them. I believe that less is more, and in the front page, we should be focusing only on the main task. So I left only the essentials. Among these essentials, you'll see the highlights panel, which the logic behind it comes from personal experience, as most of the people that I know that bet, they do so on like major games or games that are currently happening. So these highlights will only show like a curated list of games that are of high importance to new users. Let's say, for example, there's Barcelona against Real Madrid match, and you know that it's going on and you want to bet on it, and especially bet on it like now before like it starts or before halftime starts. So you look at a betting website, and on the front page of like the first result, you get the betting that you want to do, right? You get exactly what you're looking for in 2 seconds, making it easy for the user. Now this panel only shows like simple bets with the option of expanding the menu or even going to a separate like match page for the complete betting options, because the idea is to ease in the users and not saturate them with like a billion different options, because new users will probably bet on simple result outcome. Then we get the top rated games right here on the right. Now it occupies a much bigger space. These top rated games would be simply a handpicked games from Veikkaus, and they'll put just simply the games that are most profitable or games that are more popular or recently updated. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just like games. It can be menus from the live casino or interesting lotteries or stuff like that. So that can be an option. And also we can have another panel right here, like right next to each other, like kind of like cards playing into that like casino cards style. You could have many cards here, like maybe 2 different panels, one right next to the other. And if you click that, then it switches and it shows the different like style of games. If you don't want to have, if you don't want to combine games with betting and live casino and stuff like that. Then another few minor changes before we talk about the current events. I simply changed the color of the band of the notification band. Then I added a small dot on the live casino just to differentiate it a little bit. I moved everything that's information related, like, where was it? Like this gaming control, benefits and raffles, that sort of stuff. I moved it into this little button and universal information icon that you click it and then you can go into the separate page that you have all the information that you might need. And I also added this small in English icon because I realized a bit late that the website is originally in Finnish, but my browser automatically translates it in English, right? And right at the bottom here, you'll see that it's actually in Finnish and you can change it in Svenska or in English. So moving this up would be much easier, and it also gives a sense of, you know, international cooperation or whatever. Now moving to the current events, you can see that I got the timer working, and the timer would only show when it's like 24 hours left or maybe even 2 days left, like 48 hours left, and it would show there so that once you go into the website, you see that, oh, there's this current thing that I should log in now. I should take advantage of this bonus right here that is currently happening right now. It's going to be gone in 7 hours or 5 hours or 9 hours or whatever. And then you can also see that there's many other events. Maybe we can put one that is like in 15 days, there's this one, right? So it gives an incentive to always be checking the website to see if there's something happening. Even if you don't want to bet, maybe you check if there's new events that you might actually want to use. I also staggered them a little bit so that it gives a sense of, you know, activity being a bit dynamic. Same with the wave, you know, just so it's not so static, so the website doesn't feel so rigid. And this could be also help with the animations. Now I kept it a bit simple. There's much more complexity to be added, but this is one of my beliefs. I think that we should keep things simple because The UI is only part of the UX. So the rest comes from the animations, the image style, the typography, whatever. So all of those sort of stuff need to be working together in order to create a successful UX design, right? So if I overcrowd it with the UI, I put a lot of stuff. The UI is extremely complex. There's extremely a lot of gradients and different styles going on. Then the images will make it seem extremely crowded now. For example, this panel of top rated games, if I make it extremely complex, then the images themselves are going to look completely oversaturated. So if we have a simple background and complex images, then it works. And that's why I kept it really simple with a simple graphic that it has a small shadow on the bottom. Then one more thing that I forgot to mention is that if you click here in the highlights, then they would move up and show another set of games. It would not only be just 3, of course. So I think that's pretty much about it. I tried to keep things in the same style as Veikkaus already has shown in different pages in the website. This is taken straight from Veikkaus itself, this style of showcasing the bet, and I think it works really well. The idea is that when a new customer gets on the website, they can easily access either the bets or the games. Straight up, no necessity to go to a different panel or whatever. And maybe they come for the bets and they stay for the games. Who knows? But I think this design achieves what it wants to achieve much more efficiently than the previous design. Now, can there be some tweaks made? Of course, I think there's a lot of stuff that can be made, especially with this area of the games, having a different set of cards perhaps, or adding some sort of more important information here somewhere, or adding some sort of news like this stuff here, right? Adding it somewhere on the page. I think that's completely fine, but I kept it to the essentials and I tried to show that less is more, and this is what I achieved in this short period of time. So I hope it was to your liking, and see you. Bye bye.